Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fall. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your
There's
mind.
nothing wrong with taking information from Russians.
There's nothing wrong with taking
Depends
information.
on where it came from. It
Came
depends
from
on where it
Russia.
came from. You're assuming that the giving of information is a campaign contribution. You read the report carefully. The report says we can't conclude that because the law is pretty much against that.
What?
People get information from this person, that person,
So
this person?
you would have accepted information from Russians against a client, against a candidate if you were running in the presidential election?
I probably wouldn't. I wasn't asked. I would have advised just out of excess of caution, don't do it.
You're a genius.
Oh, that is just wow. I have to say, this is an amazing thing. So we've now gone through the Mueller report. I am so full, though. I may burp all the way through the show. I don't know. I don't eat, or all I do is drink coffee before the show. But oh my God, are you guys sitting up? Are you okay? I mean, I'm barely able to sit up. Karen outdid herself. That was the most unbelievable Passover Seder I ever had in my life. I hope that you enjoyed your blessed Easters, everybody. So, the food seems to be the one thing that we would share in common. Oh, my God, there's so much of it. The matzah crack was a big hit. It was huge. Huge. And I neglected to tell you in the Randi Rhodes After Hours podcast, one of the main ingredients in the crack. And that is you have to put nuts. You have to put nuts. Any nuts that you choose, but you have to crush them and put them on top, and then the sea salt. So that was bothering me. Can you believe that? That I gave you a recipe that is unbelievable, but that it bothered me. I left off the nuts. Well, nuts is, basically the topic here because this president and Rudy Giuliani and everybody around him are nuts. They are insane people. Rudy Giuliani sat on the Sunday shows and he tried to tell the American people, just remember, this is the evolution of the story. First, Trump is saying it didn't happen. He never talked to Russians. The Russian government didn't offer anything. And that they never had anything to do with the Russian government. They never took meetings. They never contacted Russians. Russians never contacted them. And now that the Mueller report is out, they have shifted from it didn't happen into there's nothing wrong with it. Oh, God. So Rudy Giuliani literally sat on the TV yesterday saying that working in tandem with a hostile foreign power to get their guy elected is perfectly fine. And that tells you that that's exactly what Donald Trump did. And that's what the evidence tells us too. So this is just an amazing thing that America's mayor and our chief hero during the 9/11 is now nothing more than a shill for Donald Trump. And he would like for you to accept the notion that our elections should be, and have been opportunities for other countries to install leaders of their choosing. Let that sink in for a brief moment. Just roll that over in your head, that America is no longer American. America belongs to not just the lizard people like the Sheldon Adelsons of the world. Oh, no. Not just the giant donors like the Koch brothers. No. America now belongs to any hostile foreign power with a really good intelligence apparatus. And that they will be picking for you the person they believe is best for us. That is a sick proposition, and I cannot accept it. I am so sorry. It's not even about money anymore, because one of the reasons why, the reason why Mueller never charged Donald Trump or Donald Trump Jr. With cooperating with the Russians is because he was, first of all, Donald Trump Jr., this Mueller report is really, it's a doozy. It's hair-raising when you read it. It's absolutely hair-raising, I have to say. It makes me weep. It really does. Because it seems to me Mueller wasn't done. Just Want to get that on the record. It seems to me like Mueller had some time constraint that nobody knows about. Seems to me that this is the reason why he didn't pursue interviewing the president. Also, he wasn't able to interview Donald Trump Jr. Did you know that? Yeah. Donald Trump Jr. was not subpoenaed to be interviewed. And the big question I had going into the reading of this 448 pages, 36 of them totally redacted. So, it was less than 448. But okay, is because something after the reason why Mueller didn't subpoena Jr. is redacted. And I got a feeling it's because Jr. told Mueller he would invoke his Fifth Amendment privilege not to self-incriminate. But we don't know because it's redacted. And so what Mueller concluded on the Trump Tower meeting was insufficient evidence, not no evidence, as they are trying to spin it on the Republican side. Oh, on the Republican, who cares if he's a Manchurian candidate? Anybody would have worked with the Manchurians. I mean, what kind of sick thing is this? Some days you are going to look fondly back on the good old days when money actually, elected Congress members and senators and presidents. You're just going to lovingly look back and you're going to remember, oh, yeah, those were the good old days when money chose our presidents and money picked our Congress. Now foreign governments do. Why even begin in Iowa? Why even begin in New Hampshire? Just let's go to, Moscow. Let's hold the caucuses in Riyadh. I hear Tel Aviv is lovely this time of year. And what about Beijing, everybody? What about Beijing? Our presidents are not elected anymore. They are installed. Trump was placed in the Oval Office by Vladimir Putin, and he is the first internationally installed president in U.S. history, and our job is to make sure he's the last. Or else everything I just told you will be looked back as, oh, remember when? We are at a momentous moment in the history of the United States of America, and you have politics getting in the way of the law. You have we have to leave politics behind and do something to make sure that this never, ever can happen ever again. Because remember that Putin told Jr. that this was the Russian government's support for his father's election. And that's what that meeting in Trump Tower was about. And Jr. would not testify. Jr. wasn't subpoenaed because typically if you're going to invoke your Fifth Amendment privilege and you tell that to a prosecutor, they won't subpoena you. And so that's what happened there. And so we didn't get his testimony. And so, here we are stuck having to investigate ourselves and bring Trump Jr. in front of Congress to take his fifth so everybody can see that he's going to invoke the fifth. And the same with the president of the United States, who was never, ever interviewed. He wasn't interviewed, and some camps think that Donald Trump wasn't subpoenaed, A, because Mueller had some sort of a time constraint. He had a deadline that we're not aware of, that perhaps Bill Barr told him, you're done on this day, and that's it. And then if you're not, we're done, we're going to rescind, we're going to close down the office. Bill Barr. That's the first reason, I think, that the president wasn't subpoenaed, because when Mueller writes in this report about why he wasn't subpoenaed, he said, we made the decision in view of the substantial delay that such an investigative step would likely produce at a late stage in our investigation. Late stage? Why was it a late stage? Because there had to have been a deadline that was given to him. He also believed that he had proved obstruction, because he said, we also assessed that based on the significant body of evidence we had already obtained of the president's actions and his public and private statements describing or explaining those actions, we had sufficient evidence. So he believes the president obstructed justice. And that could be another reason. But the thing that really freaks me out is that they were all going to invoke their Fifth Amendment. And that's what Mueller says. And he says that about the conspiracy, about how he couldn't get to proof beyond a reasonable doubt. people lied, and people destroyed, and people used encrypted apps. Go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.